Margaret. Oh my goodness. As I say, coincidentally, there's a Facebook post today about Aunt Margaret. Aunt Margaret was my only surviving relative from the World War II generation. I'll take a few minutes here if it's okay, Val, because again, people haven't kind of heard this. The net of this story was my Aunt Margaret was sold war bonds in London for Churchill during World War II. It was the era where women really engaged in wartime. Think Rosie the Riveter. But I'll tell you, the history leading up to that is immense, because I really didn't get to know my British side, English side of my family till I was 41 years old. I will not go into this story really at length, but I'd never met my father till I was 41 years old. He's from Leicester, England. And he and my two uncles went to World War II in 1939, spent 5 years over there like so many of those guys did. One of my uncles, Uncle Percy, did not come back. Previous to that, World War I, my grandfather, Sam Meakin, World War I, fought for 4 years. Oh, go, Val, you are just on point today. Sam Meakin fought for 4 years in the trenches in World War I. Miraculously, he's also, of course, from Leicester, England. Everybody's from Leicester, England. I think it goes back to like 1700s or something. But Sam Meakin was, again, 4 years in the trenches in World War I, and France and Belgium, I think. But he survived. He came back. And miraculously, he ended up having 6 kids as a young man. But sadly, he died within years after he got back. He died young because of the effects of mustard gas, German mustard gas. So my grandmother, Janet, at the time, grandmother to my kid, to my father and stuff, she had to drop the 6 children off in an orphanage in London because young moms didn't have a way to support their kids at the time. There was no welfare. There's no public subsidy. The churches, which you used to always, and still do, fill this void, they were overwhelmed. And there was a time I joked that there were no men left in London because of the wars. But he dropped the kids off, including my father, to an orphanage. And my Aunt Margaret had said, I talked to her about it. She had said it wasn't a bad experience. It wasn't kind of the cliche orphanages that you see the bad movies on and stuff, but they really took care of them. And turns out Aunt Margaret was the younger sister of my father. And she said forever, she thanks my dad because he took her under his wing. She was only 10 years old, 8 years old. To get through these orphanage years. My father, I think he left about 12 years old out into the world. So, but I had first-hand conversation with Aunt Margaret. I met her obviously late in life. She passed away at 96 years old, only a few years ago. Breaks my heart forever because it was just post-COVID during the travel restrictions, and I couldn't fly over there to meet her. To this day, breaks my heart. But I got a lot of firsthand stories. Always ask for firsthand stories. Always always seek the guidance or the stories of older people because they're an encyclopedia of knowledge. Aunt Margaret lived right outside of London, England, during World War II, during the Blitz, where they bombed London for 60 straight nights. Do people know that? 60 straight nights, and I think my grandma shuffled them into the subway and stuff those days. But as forever and ever, I love my Aunt Margaret. She was so feisty, but she said, Greg, she said, we all worked hard at it. We didn't just cower and fret and fear because danger was there every day, 24 hours a day in London. Are you kidding me? From 1939 to 1945, everybody. These guys went over to war, and there was no Facebook, there was no email and stuff. They didn't hear from weren't able to get in touch with their families for years. So, but she said, always glasses half full. Aunt Margaret, God bless you. And that clip, including a photo of her, indeed is on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook page today. But God bless her. She always said, "You always the glass is half full, the bright side." No, we got through it. We got through it okay. We all worked at it. When you stay busy, you don't get, again, stressed or fearful or whatever. And she said, "I sold war bonds door to door for Churchill." That's what the gals did. They're used to their Avon days and Tupperware parties now. This is selling war bonds. I remember in Montreal, Canada, my grandfather went over the Canadian Army artillery from 39 to 44. And I know even in Dorval, Quebec, just outside of Montreal, there were shades of war. There was an air raid signal, an air raid near one of our banks. It never went off anymore, but it was there for air raids. They had blackouts in Montreal just in case German bombers coming over. Rations during the time, there's very little ice cream and stuff, quote fancy stuff, because it was all sent over to Europe for the soldiers. So that is a full-scale rant, Val Olson. Not rant, but reflection.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't thought of for
a piece of living history. And you said something there, shades of war. And, that is really important, I think, because there is so many shades and layers, and it's here, it's gone, it's over, but there's memories, there's all these things. And so it's important to find a way just to, get through it and talk about it. And so, yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's an incredible story. And if you want to go into more detail about that, you will find it on YouTube. So Greg Meakin on YouTube, or you can go on Greg's website too, gregmeakin.com.